Welcome back to the Artist Spotlight series here at Baltimore Knife. We're going to be focusing on Paul Friedel today. Paul's been the lead blade grinder here at Baltimore Knife for several years, but we're going to showcase some other skills. He's going to be making a Morgul crown as a trophy for an event. Paul's got a very fascinating life. There's a whole lot more to him than just a guy who sits and grinds for us. But don't get in his way, because he'll definitely knock you down. Let's dig deeper and see Paul Friedel.
My day-to-day is grinding blades. But honestly, I was born to put on armor and fight people with axes. I've always been fighting. What's going on, y'all? I'm Paul the Barbarian, a bladesmith and lead sword grinder here at Baltimore Knife and Sword. I also paint little miniatures, and I make armor for funsies. My primary job here at Baltimore Knife and Sword is grinding blades. I grind just about every blade that goes out the door that is sold at all kinds of Ren fairs on our website and everything else like that. Every blade that I put out is really me trying to get better at grinding, trying to get my lines to be straighter, cleaner, crisper, and every blade is an opportunity to make it better. I think about that constantly every day. It's like, how can it be better? And then we're gonna make it better. That's the day job. As I put on my armor, I'm adrenalized. I literally know that I am putting on the equivalency of tank armor for a melee hand-to-hand combat fight. I've been a fully armored combat fighter for about 12 or 13 years now, fighting rattan, and I've had about 10 years of fighting full Buhert steel, international fighting all the way across the world. And then I was introduced to steel fighting by my buddy Andrew. He invited me out to this practice, and they ended up putting me in armor, and I just got to clobber people all day, and I was like, this is really cool. They then told me I could punch Europeans in the face with metal gauntlets, and I'm like, sick. I could punch the French, and they're like, yeah, sold. Most memorable fights, obviously the TV show Night Fight. Otherwise, I have to say winning gold medals in Spain at World Championships 2023 was pretty fantastic. And it came down to fighting Spain, the home team, and it was just right there. And we really took it to them, and we brought home gold medals. Who can argue with coming home with gold medals in your chest? I've been basically camping and fighting people for the last 15 years pretty solidly. I can't find any better time to have. My biggest thing is living passionately. That's about passion. Fighting people is about being passionate.
NordVPN now offers MeshNet, a safe way to share files, play LAN games, and access other devices. I wonder if our current security can do all those things. Can you give this to Andrew?
Can you give this to John?
Hey, can you give this to Kerry?
Can you give this to John?
Can you give this to Andrew?
Can you give this to Kerry?
Can you give this
Can you
to
give this
John?
to
Give this to
Andrew?
Kerry?
Can you give
Can you
this
give
to
this to
John?
Andrew?
Kerry?
Oh, that's where that is. I think it's time to switch to NordVPN. Become safer online with a single click with NordVPN, the fastest VPN on the planet. With services like their Threat Protection Pro and Dark Web Monitor, I know that I'm safe from malware and online threats. Use our unique creator link to receive an additional 4 months of service when you purchase any 2-year plan. With a 30-day money-back guarantee, you won't find a better deal anywhere for NordVPN. So ditch the other guys and get NordVPN today.
Malware! No! So the project that I'm working on is actually my reinterpretation of the Witch King of Angmar's crown of the Morgul crown, the crown of Morgul. The book doesn't really describe it a whole lot, but I really like the shape, and I'm also, this is going to be made for a trophy for a Middle-earth strategy battle game tournament that I'm going to be hosting in February. Funny part about all of this is that I actually, all of my like metalworking experience comes from making armor. How I started working at Baltimore Knife and Sword is that Kerry needed an extra hand making shields to put out to Renaissance fairs. He called me up and he's like, hey, I know you know how to move sheet metal. Can you come help me do some shield work and get some stuff done? And I showed up, I worked, I did a whole bunch of stuff, made a whole bunch of shields, and he looked at me and he's like, you've got trainable eyes. You're not scared of the big grinders here. You want to start working here? So I tried out and we started working. It's been 3 years of solid, constant cranking. It's been pretty fun. My first time on Man-at-Arms, being in any way, shape, or form, was actually the Mace of Sauron. Rick actually gave me a call and he's like, I need somebody big that can swing around this big mace. And I was like, okay, sounds like fun. I'll bring down evil looking armor. So I showed up, put on my big evil looking mask and all kinds of armor. And I slammed everything around with a big mace. It was a hell of a lot of fun. After that, we came in for Shovel Night. Me and a bunch of guys from the US team for steel fighting. One of the first Man-at-Arms shoot where I was coming in and I was actually working on the shoot was one of the bigger, more intricate pieces that we made. It was the Berserker sword from Lost Ark, which involves sheet metal work, forging work, a lot of fitting, grinding, and shaping that went into that thing. Since I've started working here, we've worked on several different projects. The Orc swords, Godric's axe. I can't talk about the other one. I can't talk about that one yet. So, and it's always wonderful to be around a group of people that are really focused on doing the job that they're there to do. When Ellen and Derek were doing the faces and the lines for Godric's axe and Berserker blade, that chasing reprise work is something that I want to learn how to do. They did it in such a truncated amount of time, and they got so much detail on those pieces that it is amazing. It was wonderful to sit there and watch them do it while I was chasing a big side of an axe for Godric. And it's pretty gnarly to be a part of a team like that. I keep trying to go outside of my comfort zone to do things. I try to do the smaller tasks on weapons because everybody seems to think that I'm the big hammer solution guy, which I am, without a doubt. Working on big and then going to the small and doing tiny things, and it just makes you a better craftsman, makes you a better artist at that point in time. Coming from my background of painting small miniatures and doing all of the little work, I like being able to make my brain, it scratches an itch in my brain to do small touches and things like that. Me getting into mini wargaming kind of coincides with the Lord of the Rings movies from Peter Jackson that came out. And I got into the Lord of the Rings miniature, the Middle-earth strategy battle game that they had. And I started going to this store in Eldersburg, and I met Rick Janney, who is an accomplished Golden Demon winning painter. He was really into a couple of different war games at the point in time, and we've known each other for about 20 years now. I've learned a lot about painting from him over the years, and he's put a lot of things. He's given me a lot of advice in the early years about what I was messing up. It was pretty nifty. If you have the ability to be paid to make art, if you have any kind of creative leniency, take advantage of it, run the mile with that itch. It's going to make your life better. It's going to make your work life better. Take every opportunity you can. Getting better every day. That should be a fairly solid mission for most folk. I'm passionate about what I'm about, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability that I can. And I also cook. I paint miniatures. I fight people regularly. I run amok across this country and across this planet, doing as much as I can with the most amount of fun. That's basically the life's mission right there, is do whatever I'm doing to the best I can with as much of enthusiasm that I can.
Click the logo to subscribe, or click one of the videos to see more here on the Baltimore Knife and Sword channel, or go to Almy and watch Man-at-Arms.